Welcome to the Zinnov podcast. You're listening to our Business Resilience series, where we bring to you conversations between eminent industry stalwarts and thought leaders from across the globe as they discuss their insights on overcoming challenges and the mindset that help them navigate the journey of crisis, resilience, and growth.
Welcome everyone to the new episode of the Business Resilience series of the Zinnov podcast. I'm your host for your session, Pari Natarajan, the CEO of Zinnov. Today we are thrilled to be speaking with two trailblazing leaders shaping the future of finance. Prabhuram Duraiswami, the visionary executive director of CME, and Sunil Cutinho, the innovative chief information officer driving CME's technology revolution. Sunil has been instrumental in driving product, engineering, and technology advancement at CME, a leading global marketplace for derivatives and risk management products. Prabhuram Duraiswami, or PD, the executive director at CME Group, he oversees the group's global technology center in India, which serves as a hub for software development, data, and analytics. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Pari.
Thank you, Pari.
So let's get started. What are some of the macro trends that is currently disrupting the finance sector? And what are some of those trends going to play a big role in the next 5 to 10 years? I know that's a long term, but...
I'll start with some macro trends affecting the world, specifically India, and then I will delve into how technology plays a role in that. India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Wealth creation is at an unprecedented level. And this new generation of wealth and customers, their needs are very different from the needs of the past. So they are technically savvy. They want ease of access to services. They want instantaneous insights. So those are the things that we see as driving the world in general. And that's one of the reasons why we got into a partnership with Google. Our goal is to make it easy for customers to consume our services. The second is that to derive insights very fast using our data, our rich data set. And the third is to reduce the cost of innovation. Because typically, if you look at product creation, it costs millions of dollars. It takes a long time. And we want to reduce it to thousands of dollars. So the goal is to respond to the clients very fast and to involve them in the design of the solution. This is what this new generation of entrepreneurs, the new generation of wealth desires from banking and financial services.
And if you look at the customer you serve from hedge funds, institutional investors, commodity traders, retail investors. And digital transformation, AI is playing a big role. I was at Google Next last week. Every single session started and stopped with AI.
Yeah.
How are you driving this digital transformation strategy for your customers?
You know what is interesting? I don't know if people know this, but artificial intelligence as a discipline is not new to financial services. It's been around for a very long time because we are a data-intensive business. And most of our clients use data to figure out what's the next opportunity, profit-making opportunity, or to figure out what the potential risks are with their investment. So data plays a significant role in that. And they have been evolving with technology. What is new with artificial intelligence is the generative aspect, the invention of the transform. And it has made, interacting with machines easier. It has automated certain things that would take us a long time. So in many ways, it's shrinking time to value. That is how we see this current generation of innovation do it. How is this going to help the financial sector? The financial sector, the stakes are very high. So if you see the rave about generative AI, it is mostly around, the machine's capability to have human-like interaction, to respond to human-like questions. Now, that's good and easy if the stakes are very low. A wrong answer doesn't cost much. But financial services, the stakes are high. They are regulated businesses. Reputation is at risk. So for those reasons, I think the financial services industry would not jump headfirst into generative AI. But they're still using some of the technology underneath. So the technologies that financial services would be focused on is retrieval augmented generation. Okay, not using a generalized context, but using an industry-specific or firm-specific context, okay, and then using that information to aid in faster search. That's how we see this technology being applied to the financial services industry. And, the second area is specifically in the discipline of coding, building services. And so most of the engineers were spending a lot of time writing that initial code. I think of it as the shell. Mostly the environment in which your program runs, the way it accesses services that are easily available on a platform. So what generative AI is doing there for coders is assisting them and actually building that shell very quickly. So most of the effort for financial services industry can be invested in actually servicing the client.
Interesting. On the client-facing side, you might be a bit slower compared to other industries, but on the development side, you are really accelerating that.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. And you started the discussion talking about the India being one of the fastest growing market. PD, CME has had India operations for a while, a very niche GCC focused on high-end technology. Tell us a little bit about the evolution and what are you trying to achieve from the GCC?
Oh, sure. CME started the journey of globalizing the staff predominantly in technology about 12 years back. At that time, we had started to look at a second location where we could have our technology staff be and help us with running the operations 24/7. We chose to go to Northern Ireland, Belfast at that time. That was 2011. We successfully built out that center. We saw great capability come out of Belfast for us. 4 years later, we came to India. That was the other piece of follow the sun in a sense. We came with about 100 positions that we wanted to have in India. It was split between running the technology operations, building high-end, getting high-end talent for engineering. And the last piece was how do we use the math talent in the country in the form of quantitative engineers that we wanted for the clearinghouse. That's how we started the journey about 8 odd years back. Fast forward to today, we are sitting at close to about 700 staff in India. They are across technology, global operations, clearinghouse business. So they are spread across different divisions. All these divisions sort of work together in the time zone that they are in to deliver value for the larger organization. Our journey, if I were to compare it with other global capability centers, it's not so very different. The first few years were talent acquisition, building trust in the form of, we know what to deliver and how to the headquarters. And then things start to move much faster. I will call out a couple of things that I believe we have done very differently. One thing that you met Sunil for the first time in India in January. He was again in India in March. So what would a Sunil do in India is he would come and talk to us about why. Why are we building certain products or services? Why are we trying to work with this particular customer base? How should we think about our business? And it's a complex business. Our market structures are complex. So people should understand who we are servicing and why are we doing certain things. The why becomes really important for us. And this does not stop with that. So when we hire somebody, we onboard a new employee, we spend tremendous amount of time in educating them about our markets, our customers, our business. So they come with great technical skills. But understanding the business is important for them to deliver maximum value. And this is the same thing we do with our early talent program. We go to the university. We have set up a technology hub in one of the universities in India. We do the exact same thing. We teach them about our business. We run the trading challenge, CME's own trading challenge with the university. So coming out, before they even join us as interns or employees, they would have an idea of how to trade in our markets. So we make it a point to have them learn about our business.
Very interesting. So you're almost teaching them to be your consumer before they come and join as employees.
That exact important point, because then you start to appreciate, how our clients use our services. We have two taglines. The first is CME is where the world comes to manage risk. The second is risk never sleeps. So this is one of the reasons why India plays a key role, because we were one of the first exchanges to be operating 23 hours a day for 6 days a week. Okay, so we have to be open before Tokyo opens, and then the end of the day is when North America closes, and then we are open again when Tokyo opens. So India plays a significant role. Our fastest growing region is the Asia Pacific region. India is managing all our clients in terms of their operational support, in terms of questions related to our margin, our financial analytics, in terms of our data analytics. So they are handling Asia Pacific customers in that time. India is in a perfect time zone. I see India as in the middle of Tokyo and the Middle East, before our UK time zone and Belfast takes over. So it's if I divide 24 hours into 3 time zones, India is the first time zone, then comes Europe and Middle East, Asia, and then North America. That's how we think of the world.
All right. So even though you are largely an US-based company, your customers are now truly become global, and that's a big difference.
We operate 150 countries.
Yeah.
And we are growing fastest outside the US.
Very, very interesting. And one of the things PD mentioned, Sunil, you've already been to India twice this year. And I'm pretty sure you have a very busy schedule being CIO of such a large company. Why do you go that often? And we don't see other CIOs spending that much time at the GCC. Right? It should be something important that you are spending a good amount of time there.
India has an amazing talent pool. Some of the brightest engineers in the world are graduating from Indian universities. We like to start early with our engineers. We can mentor them into becoming quants. We can mentor them into becoming strong engineers. We can mentor them into becoming strong business analysts and product leaders. That's our goal. So I spend a lot of time because it is important to treat the India Center on an equal footing with our other offices. So no different than the other offices. Because what we noticed is most organizations, they use the word captive, right? So, and there is a sense that the India Center is only there to do what is, less interesting, very painful, low cost, challenges. So, challenges at a lower cost. And we like to take a very different approach. We like to use India as a team that will solve problems in specific domains. And PD can talk about what we've done recently in terms of rebalancing our engineering team, because we use India as a competency center for many of our key critical services. And we use UK as a competency center for a different set of services. And then we have North America. So we used to be a very Chicago-centric firm. We used to be a very North America-centric firm. But since 2015, we have evolved into a global firm, serving global clients.
So one of the questions I had is around the transformation of financial services companies, right? Financial services companies are not just financial services company, but becoming more data and analytics companies. How is the transformation happening in CME?
So our goal right now is to give clients the fastest way to derive insight from data. So that's the idea, and AI plays a significant role in that. But that's easy to say. The harder part is consolidating data on a single modern data platform, making data easily accessible for internal and external consumers to build insights, And then finally, allow our clients to actually integrate their algorithms directly to a data platform rather than having to collect data, clean it, curate it. To put it in numbers, today, 80% of the time is spent collecting data and cleaning, 20% in deriving insights. We want to invert that equation. 80% insights, 20% to collect data. And our goal is to bring that down as much as possible. So that's the focus of digital transformation for us.
Sure.
In addition to ease of access and global distribution.
And if you look at the data platform AI story, every customer of us, right, be it in retail, large tech companies, like unicorns, local unicorns in India who are building these capability. And you've been around for like 150 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
How do you attract the highest quality of talent would want to come and work for CME in a hot location like in Bangalore where your operations are?
So I'll talk a little bit about how we have built the teams in India over the course of time. If I look at the skill set and the talent in the office, they are spread across different products and services. We've got the people that work on the markets product. We have people who work on clearing, risk, and post-trade services. Sunil just spoke about risk. We have people that work on referential data. And we've got our cloud engineers, we've got our data engineers. So there's a spectrum of skill sets that we have in the office. In the initial years, we were apprehensive if we'll be able to put an entire function, an entire team together. That was the first apprehension that we had to get over, and we didn't get over it quickly. We took our time to hire and build the teams. In being in Bangalore, it's a very hot market. There are a few things that we have going for us. One is I always say we're an employee-first company, right? We think about the time zone that you're working in. We work in the office 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. People go home and they have their evening time to work so that they can catch up with their colleagues in different parts of the world. So we made sure that the benefits are set up in such a way that there's a good work-life balance for our employees. Beyond that, the employees spend the hours on their own because they want to make a big difference, right? Once you bring them in and you give them all the training, you make them what they do very relevant. It's not things that I don't want to do, things that are low value. Once you break that barrier, people start to want to do more. They take ownership and accountability. That's exactly how we built the referential data services team. If you look at the journey that was the very first team that we set up in engineering. In the last 8 years, about 75% of that team sits in India. And for that team, 65% of the leaders also sit in India, which is what I do in technology with Sunil. In referential data, what we think about is two different areas. One area is contracts, right? Sunil just spoke about a contract market. How do we create these complex contracts and list them for our customers to trade across venue, across different markets? That's one piece of it. The second is how do we have our customers onboarded quickly and give them access to our market so they will trade with us, they will clear with us, they buy data from us. So how do we do that easily and quickly? And our customers are very savvy. They want self-service, right? They want to do everything on their own. So we are working on putting the power back in the hands of the customers rather than us sitting in the middle and doing something on behalf of the customer. So there are a variety of these complex challenges that we try to solve. And going back to, if I have something that I'm doing of great value, I'm going to be able to attract people. I train them, and then they are going to stay and do greater things for us, solve much more complex problems than we thought they will ever be able to.
Yeah, it's interesting because your domain is one of the more complex domains. Things like options trading and so on. So you're not just hiring engineers who can come and write Python code, but you're taking the effort to educate them, understand these complex domains so that they're able to add value, and which requires some level you're committing to be with them for a longer time, and that shows that the leadership has stayed with you much longer time. On top of that, you have the cultural aspect you have continued to work on. I'm pretty sure some aspects from India is reversing back in a culture of CME overall.
Yes. It's playing a big role. Each one of our locations contributes something, and we share We have a 2-day event. We call it Exchange Tech. It's a conference led by women in technology. It's run, near simultaneously from 3 locations. It's led from India, Belfast, and North America, and everybody can participate. So, and I love working with this team, and they bring their ideas to the table, and there is teams just borrowing from each other. So it leads to an amazing, strong global culture. So,
and one other point I want to talk about is your customers. You probably have some of the most sophisticated customers. If you think about in New York City, the number of high-frequency trading firms, and even to work in these firms, it probably required the top of the class in the top of the Ivy League schools. They're trying to squeeze the maximum out of whatever the current technology possible, be it the best-in-class chips from NVIDIA and so on. How do you keep up with such customers?
We like to live in this world where the expectations out of us are high. Our customers have these high expectations out of us, and it has continued to make us better. As with everything in life, everything is iterative. So, we engage with our clients early as we're building a solution. We work with them as we are building the solution, and they play a very big role in contributing to that, by challenging us. As you pointed out, sometimes it is consistency in the way our markets behave. Sometimes it's latency. Sometimes it's risk numbers, the way we compute risk. Sometimes it's availability of insights. So these things have actually made us better. And that's what we love about our industry, because it pushes the limits. It pushes us to push the limits with our technology partners. So we are currently doing that with Google, because there are a lot of things that we are doing with Google that's pushing the limits of what a cloud could do. Because cloud is good for, scale. Yeah, it's good for security. But one thing that we know cloud is not known for is low latency and consistency. And this is one of the beauties of our partnership with Google, because they are acting as a partner with us and building this next generation of cloud, with the ability for our services to go in there and scale. In terms of, talent, there are 2 perspectives. With our firms, when engineers join our firms or plants join our firms, the pursuit there is, specific to a firm. So we don't know what the objectives of the firm are. It could be profit making, it could be risk management, it could be something else. But the horizon or the viewpoint or the vantage point is just limited to that firm. What is unique about CME, and this is how we attract engineers, we attract quants, we attract financial analysts, is because our vantage point is that marketplace. Right. And, one has to have an appreciation. It's not one client, but all clients. It's not one type of client, but different types of clients. It's not one type of service, but many different types of services. That's a very unique opportunity. So I think our engineers seek that. And we love that, because we are seeking those engineers who love to and thrive in that environment, right? We don't have any barriers, like somebody in markets can learn about risk management. Somebody in risk management can learn about data services. I have moved around throughout the organization. So I've not cut my entire teeth in technology. I was in operations, moved to technology, then to the clearinghouse, and then I'm back into technology. So that's the story of CME. CME is a place where engineers learn. So if someone is seeking a learning environment without limits, without a cap, CME is the place.
Sure, it's almost like in our scenario, right? We work with a company like you, but our consultants can work across industries and different types of problems. So you have a very similar view from your customer.
And if I may add, For India specifically, the timing of us going to India, while one may say it was later than we should have, the good thing is all the banks were already there. Right? A lot of the talent was already built in India. We were beneficiaries of other banks being ahead of us and building the talent, where we were able to go and attract them to work on more complex problems. Or if you have worked at a bank and you want to work on the risk management side of CME, you have an opportunity. So we were fortunate in that sense that us being late was not a bad thing at all.
So that really helps. You had the critical mass of talent built by the Indian tech services industry as well as the large banks who had come in.
That's a good point. Great beneficiaries of that.
And with things moving so fast, and one, you are reacting to what the customer needs are. But how do you know? You talked about hackathon. What are some of the examples of innovations which are coming out of the hackathons, which has had a meaningful impact on the customers?
For sure. I think innovation is probably a very overused word, but the way we think about this is in your day jobs, you have a lot of complex problems to solve. So just make that part of your everyday activity in a sense. But I will give you a couple of examples on what we have done successfully. The hackathon that Sunil spoke about, as we are transforming our systems, we're moving to Google, we had two very tangible problem statements that we needed to solve. We didn't want to go to a fictitious problem, but we took the problems that we are currently facing and gave it to the teams who are currently in India, but we run some of these globally. It's just not for India. So that hackathon produced results that were fantastic. Both of these solutions that have come out are going to be the ones that will get implemented. So it's not just innovation, it's also a way of employee engagement. They know that whatever they propose as a solution is actually going to be implemented. I talked about the trading challenge for the university students that was widely successful. Slight tangent maybe, but you may have heard of NASSCOM's Women Wizards in Technology, Rules of Technology. So the second year we're doing that program. It's a self-nominated, any women employee in our office can nominate themselves for it. It's a 6-month certification program. It exposes them to latest technologies, exposes them to global leaders who come and speak about profiles, right? Speaks about how to build a career, how to build your network. So exposes them to several things. It's not an innovation topic, but it's more how do you engage your employees and give them opportunities in a sense. One of the other ones that we're really proud about that's still ongoing, this is the first year we're doing it, we have a program called Pathfinders. We have very good technology talent. We've got the clearinghouse and operations. So we put high potential employees together to solve business problems. These are pure play business innovation challenges. This is sponsored by our global head of research and the head of innovation. They both were in India. They were sitting down with our teams and working through a business problem which could open markets, could lead to revenue opportunities, very different from a technical hackathon in a sense.
So, yeah, it's great, amazing to see how you build such a cutting edge team in India. You know, if you look at some of our banking customers, some of them have 30,000 people, 20 very, very large teams, and they're able to do across. But have a team of 700 that really working with global customers and driving technology innovation. I think that's commendable. So the story has to be told more. I think we are starting with this podcast, but we should have more of those for engineers to know what could be possible from a center in India.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for having us, Pari. It was fantastic.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for both of you to be part of this podcast. Thank you for tuning into this episode. We'll be back soon with another leader, another exciting topic. Till then, stay curious. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Business Resilience Series. Stay tuned for more such interesting episodes. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. To know more about Zinnov, visit our website, www.zinnov.com, or drop us a note at info@zinnov.com. Follow us on Twitter @Zinnov for regular updates on our content. Thank you again for listening to the Business Resilience Series of the Zinnov Podcast.